Imagine for a moment you're offered $500,000. That's $500,000, completely yours to keep. But there's a catch. You can never work again. You have to survive on this money for the rest of your life. No side gigs, no paychecks, just the original $500,000. Now, at first, it sounds amazing, right? But as you start thinking about it, you think about your monthly expenses and your cost of living, you realize that money could run out a lot faster than you think. So here's the real question. Would you know how to make that money last and provide for you for the rest of your life? My name is Jeremy Whaley. I'm founder of Trade Maestro. And while this question might seem a little bit far-fetched for you, it's not far-fetched at all. In fact, it's a question that millions of Americans are asking every day as they approach retirement. What you're looking at on the screen here, this is the average retirement savings by age, according to the Federal Reserve. And you notice for people 55 to 64, that number is about $537,000. And for those over 65, that number is about $609,000. And so what's happening is people are faced with this very situation. They've got somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000, and they need to retire on this money. They need to make it last for the rest of their life, as long as they live, and do that in a way to replace their income. And yet, of course, most people don't know how to do that. So my question is, what would you do? And if you're like most people, you would do one of the following. You would maybe put it in the bank and try to pull from it just a little bit every month, just enough to survive, and you try to stretch it. Stretch it as long as you can. Other people might say, well, I'm going to invest it in the stock market or in real estate. Other people might say, I'm going to go buy a business or some type of a franchise system. And if you're like most people, the reality is you're probably going to say, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to hire a pro. Okay. Well, is that the right answer? Maybe for some of you. Is one of these the right answer? Is one of these better than the other? Not necessarily, but the key is that you learn what to do and you learn to invest. And that's why I've titled this video, Why Everyone Must Learn to Invest, including you. Yes, that means you. Even you can learn how to invest and learn how to do it the right way. And why must you do it? Because it's life or death for you. It really is. And if you're like most people, what you would do is you would actually go hire a professional or a so-called professional. You would turn your money over to them, and then you wonder for the rest of your life, is this going to work? Am I going to get the money that I need? So the first reason that I believe everybody needs to learn how to invest is because our culture has taught us that it's okay to abdicate to the pros, to the so-called professionals. They've taught us that you're too dumb to do this, or you're not of the right ethnicity to do this, you're not the right gender to do this. Whatever the story is that you've been told, most people believe that they are incapable of investing their own money and making their own trading decisions or their own investing decisions. But here's the reality. The truth is, most professionals stink at their job. And I'm going to show you, this can work across a lot of industries. I'm going to show you specifically in the stock market. What I'm going to show you here is the SPIVA study. They put this out every year. And you see on the screen here, over 10 years, 90% of funds underperform their S&P benchmark. That's 90%. That means that 9 out of 10, every so-called professional that's investing your money is not performing to their benchmark. You think, well, I should just leave it in there for a lot longer. Okay, well, we're gonna go deeper in this study right here. You ready? What this is going into the details, and I wanna highlight some stuff for you. First of all, top of the screen, you notice it says underperforming. That means that they're not matching their benchmark. And then look right here, over 20 years, that number is this is the big line right here, all large cap funds against the S&P 500, 93%. 93%, folks, 93% of so-called professional fund managers cannot match their benchmark over 20 years. And yet we have been taught as a culture, it is okay to abdicate our investment over to these professionals. Now, what if whenever you went into your favorite investment house and you said, hey, would you like to manage my money? What if they said, well, you need to know over 20 years, 93% of us cannot match the market. You probably would never give them your money. And yet they don't disclose that. And people instead give them all their life savings and they say, here, make it last for the rest of my life. No wonder we're in a crisis. No wonder here we are right now, and the majority of retiring individuals say they don't know if they can survive retirement. And so it's a major problem that we've got. It's the number one reason everybody needs to learn how to invest. Here's the second reason everybody needs to learn how to invest. And the reason is simple. You cannot outrun what the government's doing with inflation. It's impossible. The government has completely messed up our monetary system. They've completely messed up the inflationary numbers, and it's making it so that our basic cost of living is going up so fast that even if you continue to earn at your current income, you can't keep up with it. Here's a statistic, or a chart, I should say, from the Visual Capitalist. Great website. If you've never been there, go check it out, visualcapitalist.com. But it shows over the last 20 years how the price of new cars and house furnishings and that kind of stuff, that's kind of stayed the same price. In fact, a lot of technology has gone down over the last 20 years, which, by the way, is the natural state. The natural state is not inflation. But when you look at the core, most important things that people need, things like housing, food, childcare, medical expenses, college tuition, college textbook, hospital services, these costs have skyrocketed over the last 20 years. And they're only continuing to get worse and continuing to go higher. Now, you may have heard me, I just kind of dropped a little line for you here. I said that technology got a lot cheaper, and that's the natural state. The natural state of economics is that things get cheaper over time. It's not that it gets more expensive. This whole inflationary thing, it's not the natural state of the way things should go. As we progress through society, as things, get more efficient in terms of systems and processes and whatnot, we should see prices come down. But our prices are going up. They're going up double and triple what they were 15, 20 years ago. And the reason is because of inflation that our government has done. And there's no way that you personally can out-earn that. The only way to beat it is to invest your money in a way that it can far outperform inflation. Most of your savings accounts are designed to barely keep up with inflation, if that much. Savings alone is not going to do it. You have to learn how to invest. So that's the number 2 reason that everybody must learn how to invest. And here's the number 3 reason, and maybe the most important, because it really can be easy. It really can be easy to invest. And I'm going to show you right now. Take a look at this screen that I'm putting up, and you're going to notice there's some green and there's some red. What if it was as easy to make money trading the stock market or trading the crypto market or any other financial market if all you did was bought the stock whenever the chart was green? And whenever the chart turned red, what if you sold the stock? Do you think that you could do that? Just take a look at this screen here. It's really easy. It's green and red. I mean, it's like green light, red light. You do it when you're driving all the time. You get to an intersection, it's green, you go. It's red, you stop, right? Well, apply that to your trade right here, and look how easy it is. What if you just bought whenever it turned green and you got out of the trade, you sold it when it turned red? What would happen? Well, over time, what you would find is you're beating the market. And this is an indicator that we've created that we give to all of our students at Trade Maestro that actually helps you do this. It's really as simple as reading green and red. We get out whenever the trade starts to go down, and we get back in when it starts to give us the green signal and go up. Why do we do that? Well, number 1, we're making money when it's green and it's going up. Number 2, we're avoiding the pain. This is what the so-called professionals very rarely do for their clients. What most professionals do is they leave you invested all the time, and then as the market goes up, you make money. As the market goes down, you lose money, and they tell you it's just the way the market works. That's what you should do. But what they're really doing is being lazy. They're not doing something as simple as managing your money the way that I'm showing you right here. So why don't people do it? If it's so easy, why would people not do this? And I really can't tell you definitively, but there's a few things that we've seen over the years. Number 1, most people are just flat out too scared. That's it. Most people are too scared. They think that they're going to mess it up. They think that they don't know how to do it. And so they say, you know what? I'm going to let a professional do it. Okay. Another excuse that we hear all the time is they say, I don't have the time. One day, whenever I have more time, I'm going to learn how to do this, and then I'll be able to trade, invest, make some money in the market, but I'll have to wait till I have time. Another thing people say is they say, I don't have the money. Why would I learn how to invest if I don't have the money? And I like to say, if you don't have the knowledge, you're never going to find the money. But what if you already knew how to do it? If you knew how to do it, you would find the money to start investing, right? So every one of these, there's a reason that people say they can't do it, but the reality is it's just an excuse. And then the big one is people say, I don't know how. I don't know how to do it, and so I'm not going to do it. And you know what? That's a good excuse, actually. If you don't know how to do it, you really shouldn't be investing your money. But here's what I'm here to tell you. Everybody can do it. Everybody can learn how to do it. And instead of doing that, instead of finding the time, instead of finding the money, instead of overcoming your fears, instead of learning how to do it, what do most people do? Most people end up abdicating to the pros. And as I've already shown you, the pros aren't actually that good with their job. Sad, but it's true. So what do? At Trade Maestro, here's what we do. We teach you how to be in control. We teach you how to trade the markets yourself, not to abdicate it over to somebody else. We don't manage your money for you. We teach you how to do it yourself. We put you in control of your funds. Now, it might be that you decide one day, you know what, I want to hire a professional, but now that you have the education, now that you know how to do it, now that you actually understand what it means to trade the markets, you can better direct that so-called professional. Okay, that may be your path, maybe what you choose to do. In the case of most of our customers, what do? They realize, I want to be in control. And so we give them the education that they need, we give them the support that they need so that they can go out and they can manage your own funds in the market and actually invest the money and bring in income that you can actually use for the future. We teach our customers a solid system that works. We teach people something as simple as the green and red system of following those moves right there and buying when it turns green and getting out when it turns red. And then we also teach the process of different strategies to go with that and different risk management techniques that go with that. And guess what the result is? At the end of the day, you will discover that yes, you really can beat the pros. Not only can you beat the pros, you can far outshine the pros. I have customers across the spectrum of age. I have customers in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. I have a customer right now who just turned 92 about 2 months ago, and she beats the market and she beats the pros. And if they can do it, I know you can do it too. So if that's something you're interested in doing, then check out what we're doing at Trade Maestro. Visit us over at trademaestro.com. And until next time, happy trading.